Finally, it's my time. My time to escape the everyday at slots.lv. With my choice of hundreds of thrilling casino games, when I joined, slots.lv tripled my first deposit. And if you sign up now, you get a bonus of up to $3,000 and 30 free spins. I really love my time on slots.lv when I hit one of their hourly jackpots. And you will too. Slots.lv. Your time to play.
Okay, get this, right? Hey JM, crazy week. I gave 25,000 bonuses to 79 people on our support team because they received death threats. They must stop. But on the bright side, we paid out 195,000 in bonuses. If people expressing hate towards us want to feel good about something, they can take credit for helping our support team earn sizable bonuses. We also changed the deal to 50 stickers for $9 through Friday. I hope my message supporting Donald Trump and encouraging respect for everyone becomes a learning moment for everyone. As much backlash as we received, it's good for society that people that learn, a lot of people with big hearts support Trump. I want maximum happiness for everyone. Sincerely, Anthony, co-founder of Sticker Mule. Why the hell would I want to hear that? Anyway, let's go ahead and start this thing up. Welcome to the J-Man Show here on
J360 Radio.
Hey, how's it going, J360 Legion? What is happening? Welcome to the J-Man Show 340. And yes, I am your host, J-Man, once again. It is good to be here, y'all. I know we're a little late tonight. I mean, I was busy working on a whole different show in general, so I was kind of losing track of time. But trust me, I never forget when it's time to do the J-Man Show. I couldn't do it last night, though, because there was this monster storm that went through here, man. It seemed like it was the big one, you know? Seemed like God was getting ready to bring the smite after all the crazy stuff that's been going on being a mortal man on Earth. I don't get it, man. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, though, so that was pretty cool to see, like, all of that going down. I was watching all the lightning and everything take place. It was pretty cool, you know? Nice little light show. The original fireworks, if you will. I mean, shit was cracking in the sky, and not to mention, like, the thunder was just coming around. I was like, oh, Lord, it's the rapture. But I ain't mad about that, though. Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest with you. The co-founder of Sticker Mule isn't entirely wrong and has been a crazy week. But you see, the thing about it is, he wrote this crap in addition to, like, some stuff that he wrote earlier. You know, he was talking about, like, how Donald Trump was shot at not too long ago. And, yeah, that happened. But, see, the thing is that he's trying to talk about, like, how he's trying to unite people for peace. But the first thing he was willing to tell you was he was a Trump supporter, and then, like, most of the people in Sticker Mule was a Trump supporter. He did mention in passing that there were people that supported Biden as well. But you see, not only was he talking about the man being shot and there's no place for, you know, this kind of violence to happen anywhere, especially the two candidates, because, you know, Joe Biden's always in the crosshairs too. The idea is that he put his 50 stickers for $9 and, like, free t-shirt printing right there in the same email. It's like you're profiting off of somebody's attempted assassination? What the fuck are you doing? Of course, it's no different than anything else. Just like last episode, I told you that everybody's sewing something and everybody has a grift. It goes like this. Some people think when they do these kind of things that they are really helping the situation, but they're not helping anything. If anything, they're just trying to get us at our most vulnerable moments to get us to spend money on things that we don't need. And a sticker company doing this kind of stuff is just really shady, man. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like if I was out there peddling J360 merchandise, right? And, you know, something did happen to any of the candidates, or something... It's like if a mass shooting happened at another school around here, which heaven forbid, and I'm out there selling shirts because of it. That's not cool, you know? That's just really, really tasteless And at the end of the day, nobody should ever want to go through that. Whether you want to stick with Sticker Mule or not, that's entirely up to you. Whether you guys want to support Trump or Biden, that's entirely up to you. I know who I'm voting for when November rolls around, and I'm not going to be swayed either way. But it's just like anything else. I remember when none of us was giving a damn about this election. I remember when none of us was even caring. And I really wish that day came back, because that debate was shit. That debate was terrible. And I mean, like, not even because of the performances. I think it's just because of everything around it. I think even with, like, some of the way the media has been behaving lately, it's just classless and stuff like that. Like, everything is you'll notice that when we wake up to when we go to sleep, about 95% of things is a problem. And it doesn't feel like there's any real solution in sight, right? Like, there are times where people, even on social media especially, but it's starting to seep into other things, because some people just don't know when to unplug, and some people just don't know when you got to let things play out. You know what I'm saying? People will go all day talking about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. They'll talk about this stuff until they're blue in the face. But what they won't talk about is all the criminal shit he did, and all of the crazy stuff where the Supreme Court pretty much made him immune to things if it's official duties. So you mean telling me that rolling around with Stormy Daniels and all that stuff was official duties, right? You mean to tell me, like, all the other crazy stuff and the little to no collusion and all, like, it's just anybody's guess now, right? There's just a lot of shade and a lot of crap in it. And the truth is that much like how stuff that goes down with YouTube drama, you don't know who to believe until it's, like, too late and all that stuff. Because almost everybody that doesn't want to be accountable have to play the victim game. And you see it a lot with Trump. And you see it, like, a lot with the people that surround Joe Biden. The people that surround Joe Biden are getting on my last good nerve, because let me just tell you this. You know, like, I hate to dive into politics entirely, but like I told you before, this is my show, my final say on things. But you got to look at it like this. At least, despite what you say about Trump and things like that, he has a base. He has all those people behind him. And they don't care if they're wrong or not. They are standing behind this man. I mean, hell, they pretty much did a bunch of X Games and crazy shit during January 6th to break into the Capitol building, for goodness sakes. And got in. You know, among other things. They know how to band together behind this man, even though at the same time, he's out here mongering hate and getting him to do things, and he's not actively being a part of it. No, he never participated in the January 6th stuff, but he initiated it. And that's insurrection right there. But, you know, domestic terrorism doesn't have any meaning to it once this, you know, country gave it a face and a race. You see what I'm saying? It's weird. It's just beyond weird, and it's beyond sad. And the truth is that, like, you know, why are we going through this day and age? You know, we're supposed to be moving beyond labels. We're supposed to be building equity amongst all races and amongst all people to try to make it. This is supposed to be about having that American dream, about how to rise up and get where you need to be at. Now the thing is, there's a lot of nepotism in the works, and there's a lot of people that were acquired and given things throughout their bloodline and stuff like that, and the Trumps are no exception to the rule. But let's just say this, though, for those of us that want to become those next billionaires, that want to be the next new money and all that stuff, you would think that we would all work together, that we would all really ban our resources, or really just understand that human nature exists. But, you know, in the game of business, it's a little different. We don't need to dive into, like, who we support politically and all that kind of stuff entirely to have our business run, depending on what our business is entirely. You know, some of y'all want to be consultants. Some of y'all want to actively work in the media industry. Some of you actively want to, you know, build brands of your own making and all that stuff. Like, those are very wonderful things. And trust me, I'm doing the stuff too, but, you know, half the damn time you don't see me pop up on every show and say, hey man, you know, you gotta vote for Joe Biden because that's gonna be the future of America. If you don't do it, man, Project 2025 is gonna ruin all of us. We're all gonna be, it's just, no. Because you know what? Like I said, I'm here trying to foster independent thought. I'm trying to say, like, you know what? Do what you like to do, but do it within reason. I try to say, like, understand what's going on. And then you realize there's some people you can't reason with, you can't reach. And you know what? At the end of the day, not everybody will be saved, so you got to keep moving forward each and every time. There are people that are always going to be angry at you. There are people out there that are always going to be trying to bully you into submission or trying to make sure you don't have a voice. And why would you give it to them that easily? I don't know. But, it's just like when I was on the Washington Post social media the other day where they were talking about the person in charge of the Secret Service and all. I'm saying, why should she lose her job? Like, because everybody was sitting over there talking about, like, how they botched the assassination. They botched it. They didn't botch it. I mean, you think about it. When you're at that moment and something's going down, you got to quickly get out there and protect who that delegate is. And the thing is, you could be as far away as possible, or you could be as close by as near be. And the thing is, if that thing was to hit its impact like it was supposed to, or intended to, let's just put it that way for better choice of words, if things went down as the shooter intended, yeah, they would have botched it up. You know what I mean? Not getting there in time to him. But they got there, and the thing is, they had to make sure they didn't raise him up as much as possible. But Trump wanted to be up there anyway, raising his fist in the air and stuff like that. I mean, the fact that he got a nick on the ear, that was lucky. I'm just saying, that was. But at the end of the day, there are plenty of people talking about how planned it is, how interesting it is, and all this stuff that goes down. I'm just saying, like, there were local cops that were in that building where the shooter was. I mean, was the shooter cool with the cops or something like that and was able to get up there on the elevated roof? Because usually during any sort of part where people are, elevated roofs are usually covered, right? Especially depending on trajectory and all that kind of stuff. There's usually people across from certain buildings and stuff to make sure, like, things don't go down. So I guess somebody wasn't paying attention that day or what. But the truth is that it's always like that, where people will call out someone at the top to lose their job because someone at the bottom was not prepared. It could have been delays in communication. It could have been a lot of things. I don't know. I wasn't there. And see, the sad part about it is, for me to get any sort of report, I have to get it from the news networks. And then there's plenty of news networks that are not giving you facts. They're giving you sensationalism. They're giving you all sorts of this information that could be gobbledygook somewhere, or this angle where it was something else, or like how people are sitting over there talking about, like, how this kid was either playing video games or he was abused. It's not the fact that the kid actually was a Trump supporter, and for some reason he probably just wanted to go ahead and go into the next world and take his hero with him. It couldn't have been anything like that, right? It has to be that there's something wrong with the kid. And the fact that anybody would even go as far to try to go this far, that's sad enough. But, you can't look at, like, an assassination any different than a mass shooter. You see what I'm saying? Like, when it came to all those things that happened at those schools during the holiday season or during summer or all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And those moments were botched up. You gotta look into, like, what happened during the whole thing that led to this. Like, people talk about Uvalde all the time. I look at Parkland a little bit more than Uvalde. And then there are times where they go back to Columbine. And, like, Columbine was just a moment where, like, everything changed. You know what I mean? That's the most, dare I say it, the most infamous one. You see? But when it came to Parkland, when it came to Uvalde, and then there are, like, others in between. I think there was one where, like, it really didn't get reported because, people are desensitized to it. That's really damn sad. See, schools are part of your community. Schools are supposed to be like a place where, your next generation is supposed to learn different things so they can take over and stuff like that. Among other weirdness around here, but some people don't hold schools in high regards either. It's like, if anything, you got to know about the issues that are going on in this country in order to really try to make changes for them. And see, a lot of people, they love the image of everything. And remember when I talked to you guys about image is everything? The man has a base, but you look over at Joe Biden, you see, like, everybody sitting over there like, duh, we should just throw in the race. You should just give it up. Yeah, that's the way about. I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know when the hell during the debate or after the debate when they started saying that shit, but it's like this. That's got to stop too, because you see, you can have your opinions and stuff, but you see little things like that. No, this is not the time to go ahead and say that shit. And the thing is, those people are saying it in public. You know, they're saying it in public, whereas the other side is grinning and cheesing hard because they feel strength in numbers. They're already comfortable with one another. They just had a damn convention, right? Whereas the other side, like, it's almost time for that convention. It's just going to be a whole realm of awkwardness. And if you're not going to stand behind the current president and stuff like that, and you're just saying, give up, throw in the towel, all that stuff, the man already got coronavirus, but I mean, being around all that toxicity and all that defeatist behavior would make anybody get sick. You see what I'm saying? No, you got to band behind him. We are too late in this stuff. I mean, like, there are people right now getting prepared for Halloween, and you know, November comes after October every year, baby. We are in. We got to stand behind this man, strengthen numbers, and show that there's a strong base for Biden as well as Trump. That's the best way to back them down. Because, see, and then not only that, you can go ahead and filibuster and you can go ahead and repeat phrases and all that stuff, but you got to talk about facts. You know what I'm saying? And there are people out here that will happily denounce, deny, disapprove, and will not allow any facts coming into play. Even some newspaper publications like that. Like, there's a reason why I go on Washington Post's social media, because guess what? You can't take them seriously. Same thing with Wall Street Journal. Same thing with Rolling Stone. Same thing with, oh God, quite a lot of the movie review sites and stuff like that. You cannot take them seriously because they've been caught in their lies. People do not trust them. And instead of them actually saying, you know, maybe we need to change our approach a little bit, they're double downing on the stuff. They're happily saying that, you know, we don't care if you didn't trust us or not. We are still the voice, and we're going to be the voice that you hear. Any wonder why a lot of people are pathological liars, right? I mean, you think about it and stuff like that. Like, there are moments when I do this series where I sit there and I'm wondering if I'm putting out the right message. And the truth is that I choose that message, and I'm like, you know what? This is the right message. This needs to be said. But, you know, once again, when you got places like Sticker Mule coming up here and flexing their political alignment, it's awkward, yeah. Is it appropriate? Depending on who you talk to. I know a lot of people were like, oh no, we're getting rid of it. Oh, I don't want no part of it. And then I see certain people say, well, those stickers are pretty awesome and all that stuff. Yeah, I guess. But there's so many sticker companies out here, yo. There's so many branding companies out here that Sticker Mule is popular because of their ads and everything. You know, it's kind of like when you're on any sort of YouTube channel and you're seeing like BetterHelp showing up and stuff. I wish I had a media campaign like that, you know? But, you know, at the end of the day, when you go in, you do some deep dives, you see about the actual results that they have because...
Ah, finally, it's my time. My time to escape the everyday at slots.lv. With my choice of hundreds of thrilling casino games, when I joined, Slots.lv tripled my first deposit. And if you sign up now, you get a bonus of up to $3,000 and 30 free spins. I really love my time on Slots.lv when I hit one of their hourly jackpots. And you will too. Slots.lv, your time to play.
God knows you can't go by testimonials and stuff. You really gotta take the time to see, like, what's what and what's the catch, and then you gotta always be skeptical, you know what I mean? You gotta always be like, oh, okay, I see what this is, I see, all right, there's the rib, there it is, there's the catch, okay, I see the ties right here and all that kind of stuff. Like, there are plenty of people trying to say, don't look at the Project 225, you know what I mean? Don't look, well, it's not 225, it's 2025, but I wanted to say 225 because it sounds like a little bit more interesting. But see, that's what I'm talking about. See how I went in there and I did a little bit of a change and stuff? That's not a fact, right? That's an opinion of what I just said. So I wanted to go ahead and show that to you all on that level. But you see, like, no matter what it is, it's just like, this is like a repeat of the last election. And like I said before, if Trump was so good at his job, he would never have lost it. You know what I'm saying? Or sitting over there crying foul, or sitting over there saying that cheating went into play and all that kind of stuff. When I was at the polls, ain't none of this damn sensationalism went down. Like when I went there to vote, I made my vote. You know, even when Hillary was running, I just went and made my vote. Maybe it's a little bit different in different areas or something, but it really wasn't that. It wasn't this bad. You know what I mean? And if you think about progress and stuff like that, there are people that, like I said before, thrived in that time of Trump, and then there are people that thrived in the time of Biden too. And you see, the thing is, like, when you're an individual, you always think about, like, what are they going to provide for me? What are they going to give me? I don't think you understand how it works when it comes to mass communications, or when it comes to mass, well, it's not mass, it's macroeconomics. When it comes to macroeconomics, that's all of us as a whole and what we're doing. And you see, like, when those of us are trying to get ourselves together to get our homes and all that kind of stuff, we're pretty much working as individuals unless we got a strong unit with whomever the hell we're working with to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always like goals and everything. And you see, there's too much going on. There's a lot of y'all that are not perfectly balanced like anything either, right? Like, some of y'all are still trying to get your ideals together. You're trying to go for things that you want, but you know you have to take care of things that you need. And it's just it really sucks because the way your pay rate is and stuff too, or like how very, very minimal your payroll could be. Trust me, I see it. I went through it, you know? Oh, man. I mean, I can't say that I turn a blind eye to that stuff, but yeah, economics is a real pain in the ass these days. Especially as an individual, especially as somebody that's trying to get out there and date, especially as somebody that is in a relationship, and it's just really bad out here. And, you know, a lot of this stuff is man-made. This stuff can easily be changed if they just say, look, we're not going to go for this anymore. We're going to make things reasonable. We're going to get this stuff together. You know, and the truth is that people who really need the help and stuff like that, because a lot of people play victim and a lot of people are soaked on attention. And what's the best way to get attention? Sometimes instead of just being true to yourself, you play a victim, right? See, people do that stuff. Trust me. Don't a lot of people that you know play victim so that they can get attention and all that stuff, and that dopamine hit and all that? There's a lot to it. There's a lot of psychological stuff when it comes to the behaviors of people and how we function. And I wish there was a way we could actually take note of ourselves and really see how far we're going down. But some of y'all have been brave. Some of y'all have been denying. Some of y'all have been double downing. Some of y'all have been, you know, holding truth to like all this other crap instead of just being like, look, take it with a grain of salt. See what the hell's going down. Like, I've been trying to avoid a lot of election stuff as of late, too. Oh, yeah. I'm sure, like, a lot of you say, but you talked about, like, how politics is history in real time and all. And it's like, yeah. But once you see, like, what the facts are right now and stuff, you know, you just don't really want to hear all that fluff and everything. It's kind of like when you're dating and you're trying to get out there and you're talking to certain women that you like and all, and you're hoping things get hit off, and then it comes to the time of the date where it could either go, either way it's going to go, or it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, there might be moments where the woman gets cold feet and all that stuff. It could be another moment where, like, you know, you see her behavior before y'all actually go on the date, and you're like, I don't want to spend, you know, late in the night with that kind of shit and all that kind of stuff. Or you find it that she's not honest about the fact that she has at least 2 kids when it said on her profile that she doesn't have kids. At the end of the day, it's just lying. You know? And I see a lot of that stuff happening too. There are people that'll sensationalize the hell out of dating all the time. Well, I'm a great catch. You should trust me. You should like me. See, that's being a pick-me, and that's being very desperate. And at the end of the day, desperation is not a good look. And there are women out there complaining about how old they are, and there are men out there complaining about that they don't have enough game, and just the list goes on and on. And I'm pretty much comparing this to the way mass media is, because the media is never going to try to tell you about the good news. They'll talk about it in passing, but they're not going to tell you about, like, people who are actually at peace with themselves, letting nature take its course, like, you know, just living life. You know, like, you know, you can think about your future all you want to, But if you're already making progress towards that future, it's going to happen. Like, if you want that house and you're putting aside money for that house, you know, but knowing that you're going to be in your apartment for a little bit longer and stuff, that's understandable. Or knowing that you're going to go to a better apartment and make that your place while you're busy working on getting your newer place and stuff, that's fine. There's no age limit to this stuff, you know. And like for certain people, they're upset because 40 is just around the corner, and they feel as though they failed in life. How do you fail in life if you're still trying? How do you fail in life if you are on the way to that goal? Like, you know, where you're working out, whether you're doing the best you can, whether you get that new car or truck by next year or something like that, or you get out of credit card debt and all that stuff. That's important. Those are important things. How you figure you're failing? What? Because Credit Karma will pop up and tell you? Or because, like, any of this bad news floating around here? Some of that shit may not even apply to you. Which is another thing, y'all. Y'all need to understand this. Just because somebody's on TikTok talking about their relationship life is shit, it doesn't mean that yours is. Or somebody's over here talking about how their financials are not doing so good, doesn't mean that yours isn't good. You got to look inwards and you got to take care of yourself first. I mean, I've been doing a lot of taking care of myself. You know, I'll be honest with you. I've been on dates, but I have not been in a steady relationship since... 2021? Because, you know, I am doing a big restart and all that kind of stuff. I mean, she was a very beautiful woman. I will not knock that. But the same time is, right now, I got more important things to take care of, but I'm still open to possibilities. There's nothing wrong with that. You got too many people out here throwing their narrative and their personal life out here and stuff. And then when you hold them accountable for it, then they got the nerve to get mad at you. And it's like, well, you know what? That just proves it's not about me, and maybe you need to go on ahead and really work on yourself because you look like shit. And you smell like it too. And man, that's when that heated argument comes into play. And going back to what I said about the Washington Post comment and stuff, that's still going, by the way. Yeah, I get like updates on Instagram about it. I haven't commented on that shit since, what? I started it on Tuesday. I didn't bother looking at it yesterday because I was busy working on J360 TV. And then, like, even now, something popped up and said it went over, like, 200 comments. That stuff is probably still going to go and hit about, like, what? Maybe 500 to 600 by the time Saturday rolls around or something. And it's all because I asked, why should she lose her job? You know? And then not only within 5 seconds, all of that filibustering nonsense and all that hate and everything else came through there. But it's like this. If it's such a bad comment, you would never comment on it, right? That's not a bad comment. That comment worked because it got everybody talking. I love it when I do that. I just love it. Because, you know, like, sometimes you come in there and you hit them with, like, a very innocent question. I'm not looking for clout or anything. Although, at the same time, I just went ahead and did a weird flex on you. But I'm not looking for clout. I just wanted to go ahead and say, like, it doesn't take much. Any of y'all out here that are talking about things, and, you know, you feel yourself alone about stuff when you talk about it, it might have been at that right moment to ask. It might have been at that right moment to speak your mind. It might have been at that right moment to let the world know that you don't stand for certain things. You know, maybe if I was a lot younger, maybe I would be all about all that kind of shit. But nowadays, it's like this. You're not giving me any solutions to these problems, so I don't really care what the hell you got to say. But thanks for bringing it to my attention about your issues. You know? We all got to survive through this whole thing at our best way of doing so, right? We all have choices whether to crawl or walk. We all have our choices of whether to... And now you say that figuratively. Because a lot of y'all will be like, well, what about disabled people? Let me tell you something. You might not see it, but a lot of those disabled people are doing quite more and a lot more sharper than plenty of us able-bodied ones out here. I'm just saying. And I'm not talking about like benefits they receive and all that stuff. I'm talking about like when they actively don't allow any sort of disability they have to stop them. We allow a lot of things to stop us, don't we? And we call it mental health. And mental health is important, yes. But you got to realize you got to be responsible. All this stuff, responsible. Financial health, responsible. Every bit of this stuff here, you will never escape accountability because it is right there in front of you. And it'll hit you one way or another. Moments where you are accountable, and then moments where you're definitely not accountable. Which is why, like, a lot of these companies out here that I was talking to you about with sensationalism, they are so damn unaccountable for things. That's why they're getting sued left and right. That's why they're getting hit with all these other things. And of course, they'll settle out of court and all this stuff. But then there are moments where you know that stuff that started is because they did not want to be responsible about any sort of thing that they were doing. And then when they open a certain can of worms, or people actually get hurt, or any sort of other things that happen in society that should not, and then all of a sudden they start playing the apology game. And then it comes in a moment where they don't learn from it. You should learn from this crap. But, you know, where are we going to be in society without any of this foolishness, right? Because, in a way, this foolishness actually makes people like you and me feel better about ourselves and our flaws, don't it? Don't it? No, come to terms with it. Be honest about this stuff. It does make you feel good to see this shit, right? Sad, man. Very, very sad. But hey, you know, I just tell you guys all that stuff because how can we actually beat sensationalism? Well, don't be so hyperbolic. Don't dive into the stuff. Talk about what's going on. And, you know, you may have to take it at a certain angle because I know, like, when it comes to news writing, it usually comes down to angles about things. But when you read, like, a certain take on something, don't be afraid to read a second take, and don't be afraid to decipher and make the choice of what story you're going to believe and work with. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's not to say that it'll never end. I think sensationalism will go on as long as, like, you know, there will be plenty of people to soak it up, which is why, like, everything on YouTube kind of sucks now because tabloid stuff. Oh, which, by the way, I'm not going to talk about him. You know what? Because I saw, like, everybody else on YouTube was going to talk about that fool. But, yeah. No, I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff. But, yeah, you'll notice that on YouTube, those people that are on there doing commentary, they get in trouble all the friggin' time, don't they? But, yeah, sensationalism. It's just one thing that we cannot give up, along with righteous indignation, and then also, like, you know, ego and image stroking and all this other crazy shit. The world's kind of fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I think a lot of people forget to tell you, though, life is what you make it. And here in the independent scale, I mean, it's no different. Like, I'm going to go ahead and live the life that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of who's in that office anyway, or regardless of how things go. This is where me being an architect comes into play, and can't nobody really stop me but me. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. As many times I tell you guys about accountability and being responsible and stuff, I know it has synced in for a lot of y'all out there, but you just can't save the rest of the world sometimes. And you try to lead by example on that. Oh, man. But anyway, want to talk about some real cool stuff here? You know, there will be a new J360 TV show coming into the schedule soon enough. We have to continue on the gaming adventures, and I got to keep rebuilding my retro gaming library. So you got plenty of stuff to look forward to when the Power Play takes center stage starting next Thursday. All right? Yep, it's happening. And you get to catch that on both the YouTube channel and Twitch. Yep. So that's twitch.tv/J360TV, and that's youtube.com/J360Productions. Those are the two channels of J360TV that you need to be aware of. Alrighty. I know a lot of y'all have been asking me about the exclusive pages, and let me just tell you this, that's still coming into play too. You have a lot to look forward to with that. For those of you that use Discord, yes, the J360 Discord is still active. I have not utilized it that much, but it is still active. So anytime any of y'all want to sign up, let me know about it so I can go ahead and roll that out again, because I have plenty of stuff to throw your way, and this is the time to go ahead and talk about it. And not to mention, Project Conference. Yes, that's coming back too. And there's plenty of y'all I got to go ahead and get the slots locked in with. And not to mention, we also have Jams 96 happening next week, which as of this presentation is still accepting submissions. Submissions will not end until next Thursday at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern. You have plenty of time, y'all. So anybody who wants to submit 2 tracks and a link that you would like to see grow, submit it to j360jams@gmail.com. However, it cannot be Spotify tracks. You see what I'm saying? I can't do nothing with them, guys. I'm meaning to tell y'all that. Like, I look at it and I'm like, okay, it's nice that you're letting me know where your Spotify page is, but I cannot do nothing with those tracks because, well, you know, issues. But that's where MP3 and a WAV file come into play, and you can just go ahead and put those into a cloud folder and email them to me at j360jams@gmail.com. Okay? But all in all, that's what I have for you guys right now. There's plenty of new to come into play a little bit later, and we will touch base on that at some point, but I got to get out of here, and I'm sure a lot of y'all are done hearing about political mess because, like, once again, we have yet to see anything else other than people wearing napkins on their ears. Oh my God, it happened. Anyway, I will see y'all later. Peace.
Ah, finally, it's my time. My time to escape the everyday at Slots LV with my choice of hundreds of thrilling games. Get ready to discover your perfect game. Join Slots LV, your time to play.